Check 1 2, check 1 2. What is up, everyone? All right, calm down, S. It's my bad. It's my bad. It's not Nightbot's fault that I forgot. What is going on here? How's everyone doing today? What's up, Eidolon? What's up, Noxel? What's up, Popcorn? Yeah, exclamation mark, join. So we're doing Feedback Fridays today, obviously. Damn, I gotta shave. Yeah, if you want to enter the raffle, you guys know the drill. Exclamation mark, join, and we'll just listen randomly through people that are joining the raffle. You have something to show me today? Sweet, I'm excited. Let's go. All right, let me what's up, Siege McNeege? Never catch you live. Here we are. If you're a producer or musician of any kind, feel free to enter the feedback raffle. Okay, let's switch over to the main view. I'll probably be live for about 2 hours today, is kind of what I'm thinking. Yo, thank you so much, Crepe G. I appreciate it. Yeah. Let's keep on moving. Let's choose the first winner here. What's up, Droopy? All right, on coffee number 2, I've been trying to scale back my caffeine consumption. Well, normally I ask for a private Spotify a private SoundCloud link, something like that, or Dropbox. But if it's already released, then yeah, Spotify's okay. I can load it up. Hold on, I'll just open up Spotify in advance just in case people are sharing released music. Yeah, I mean, it's totally your call, but normally the feedback I'm giving is more useful if it's unreleased, right? Because then you can take whatever I'm sharing into account for that piece of music. But yeah, not a big deal if it's released as well. Whatever works. Art is on vacation. Pin message is missing. Oh, yeah. I guess I should have put it in the title, huh? But, do I just send the link in chat? Yep, exactly. Perfect. All right. What do we got here? What are you exposing us to, Droopy? Let's take a look. Just double checking you guys can hear this. We got a new follower. Okay, hold on. Sorry about this, y'all. I think there's still some routing issues on occasion that I'm having with Hold up, let me check something here. One moment. I don't know. Ever since I started experimenting with Sound ID, it's been kind of a pain. Silent feedback stream. Carrot Tunes, what's up? Thank you for the follow. All right, give me a second here, y'all. Oh, weird. Actually, it should be working. Let's see. Why does it feel like I am having so many technical difficulties lately? Wait. I think that worked. All right, we're back. It's a brick roll protection. Wait, you guys still can't hear this? Okay. We're good. Sounds like the BPM is increasing. I like the Foley here. Yeah, some really cool stuff going on. Sounds like a key change here. Reminds me of Terraria. Interesting. Almost sounds just like a different track idea here. Cool. So yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. I think first thought that comes to mind, it's really just that I think these are probably two separate songs. But, it's a free world. You can, have an hour-long song, and there's nobody's going to stop you from that. Yo, Rhythm, thank you for the 100 bits. Or I think that was bits. Happens so rarely, I kind of forget what those notifications mean. But anyways, yeah, so that's the first thing I thought of is like, it sounds like you're kind of transitioning into a different song here, but they're connected too. So, maybe it's an EP. Maybe you have a few seamlessly connected ideas that are all kind of part of a similar world. I like the writing. It's cool. The intro, yeah, I'm just going to start throwing random stuff at you here, but the intro, it was very soft and mysterious and kind of gentle, and compared to this section here, where you kind of have the drums come in and you got like these this big melody. Which is cool. I like that kind of like a polymeter stuff. I mean, it's kind of like how I would look at it. It's like a 3/4 riff over a 4/4 song, which I like a lot. It's cool. I think there's room for some foreshadowing. This is just my opinion. I think it does hit you out of the blue, which is an effect that might be intentional. Like this section here. Which is great, but then you have like, it's 2 minutes of this, right? And I get it. It's I can tell it's not just some kind of drone or something. Like you're building up towards this moment. So I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to critique this from like a, optimize this for Spotify listeners, shorten your ideas, and I'm not saying that at all. But I do think there's room for maybe foreshadowing this a bit more. So for example, like here, right, you have the you have the drop drums without a lot of the like sub and other layers to that kind of like, it communicates some of the energy still from the drop, right? You have that after, which I think is a good choice. It helps kind of like taper off the momentum and kind of imply like, okay, this big moment is over with. We're heading somewhere else now. And I think you could have some of this going into the drop though, Like I really was not expecting something that big. Again, could be intentional to do it that way. And it's cool. It does catch you by surprise. But it also means that the trade-off is listeners that listen to, let's say, like 2 minutes of the song and are like, well, I'm not to take this with a grain of salt, like, again, just throwing this out there. But people that may not be that into like longer intros and stuff, maybe they're not the listeners for you. If that's what your priority is to be able to take these kind of like more explorative routes towards getting to bigger moments and tracks. So I'm just trying to like put it on your radar. It is a bit of a longer intro, and nothing wrong with it, but it could it might. No matter what you create, you're always going to alienate someone. You can't make everyone happy, right? So like, there's no reason in being like, oh, how can I remove this or add this to, make more people like the song? And it's like, I feel like that's a really destructive way of thinking about creating art. There's a great David Bowie quote where he says something to that effect, where artists tend to make their worst work when they're trying to meet other people's expectations. Anyways, thanks for sharing. Really love the idea. I can see it. I can see both of these ideas kind of being fleshed out some more. I think they're also one other thing I was going to say. The dynamics range is maybe a bit too high. If you're planning on hitting DSPs and stuff like that, it's going to be tough for people. Maybe it's just because it's not kind of mastered yet. But I would try to reduce the dynamic range a bit. Because like this is the entire intro is much lower in volume than this section. So even just something like that could probably help. But yeah, I really like it. Thanks for sharing. It is the beginning of a second track. Okay, got it. Cool. Let's keep moving. Wait, Art Nerd, aren't you supposed to be on vacation? What are you doing here? What's up, Cheska? How's it going? Good to see you. This is kind of random. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think I've met Cheska twice now. In I can't remember. Was it a Michigan show? I can't quite remember, but either way, I think the first time was quite some years ago. I think it was maybe like 2019, and then the second time, yeah, it was Michigan. That's right. Okay, cool. But yeah, appreciate you coming out to those shows. That was a good time. It was cool to meet you. All right, we got Santana Jingo Bellic remix. Oh my god, I still have the piano umbrella. Sorry, I had to pause the music there for a sec because my fiance and I use that piano umbrella all the time. So thank you. Cool. Love it. I actually don't know if I know the original. I didn't really, never really went through a Santana phase, but obviously you can't really escape an artist that big. There's some songs that everybody knows by Santana. But anyways, you know, I love this rendition. I'll have to check out the original sometime. But I think it's really creative the way that you, because this is the second track of yours I've heard. Both of them have been remixes. And I love the way you combine the writing from the originals with your approach to drum and bass. I think it's a really unique combination. I know that you and Ession are you guys worked together. I don't know if you worked together on this one as well. Hold on, I forgot to read this message. I told you about a remix of a Mexican guitarist that is known worldwide. Well, I think I'm sure that it all started one night. Bellic messaged me. We did. Gotcha. Cool. The rest is his work and my guidance and supervision. I mean, yeah, you guys are a great combo. And I don't know. I don't feel like I have anything to say. I think it just feels well done. I think the only stuff that comes to my mind is maybe some minor like personal preferences or things that don't really make the track any better, but I just know that I would have done maybe slightly differently if I had been involved or if for whatever reason I had the idea of creating a drum and bass remix of Santana Jingo, which would have never happened. But you never know. Either way, I don't think I have any like good constructive criticism, just like more opinion based stuff. And well, I guess there's no separating those things, is there? But yeah, either way, at a certain point, opinions aren't really that helpful for feedback. So, or just deeply subjective stuff that's kind of like, I would have maybe chosen a slightly different kick or something like that. It's like, okay, I don't think that's really particularly consequential to the overall vision. So yeah, I don't have anything to add. Just love the track, well mixed, well arranged. I can tell that it's a great homage to the original. I also love that bass line, by the way, in the first drop. Also, for some reason, I was hearing some kind of like almost samba-esque like chords at one point in the track. I was just throwing it out there for fun. Anyways, so much fun to jam on and just to listen to. So thanks for sharing. Cool. Let's roll to the next one. What's up? Why so cold? This is going to be the third time we're listening to something of yours, I believe. What you got for us today? All right, let's check this out. Just a link. No words. All right.
You've been locked into the beat librarian. Hey, yo, keep the volume down. music.
All I wanna
Okay, so it's a great tune. Looks like it's a flip of a different track. I'm guessing that's where the vocals are from. The All I Want to Do Is Roll in the Benjamins. So I think lots of energy. It feels like there's a lot of good stuff going on. Yo, Vocode, thank you for the follow, and love the name. But I think, like, I'm trying to think about the impact. Let's listen to the first drop again really quick for just a moment. Yeah, so something that I noticed is that it feels like the sidechain is maybe a little bit too... It lasts a little bit too long. The release is, I think, too long. I'm not sure exactly how you set up your sidechain. Maybe you're using something like Volume Shaper, in which case it'd be really easy to change it. But either way, I don't think that that's a difficult fix no matter how you're routing your sidechain or setting that up. I just think the release should be shorter, because it'll help with hearing more of the sound design you got here. It feels like it's just a tad too long. I would experiment with exactly where to put it, but definitely a little bit shorter would be nice. And this is actually something I've noticed in some of your past submissions too. I think there's a lot. I think that snare is pretty cool, by the way. Feels like something you'd hear in a Skrillex track, but I think that this might be just a tad too chaotic, and I feel like I've said that before about a second drop for a different submission of yours, and I like the switch up. I think the halftime is cool. I like the drums and such, but the bass sound design feels a little bit too chaotic. You're trying to kind of like figure out what to hold on to as a listener, and I'm not quite. Like this drop definitely has more of a motif that is a bit easier to hold on to. I'm not saying like just replace this section with this or anything like that. But there might be some way to hold on, I'm trying to see. And it happens for such a short amount of time too that it's kind of like it feels like there's kind of no pattern to it, which, hey, not a big deal. You know, the chaos might be something you're going for. But in my mind, if I were in your shoes, I would just try to find a way to give listeners something more specific to latch onto. Yo, thank you for the sub, Vocode. Much appreciated. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to share. I think like some kind of outro would be nice. It sounds like this sounds more like another build than an outro. But yeah, maybe you're planning on having a third drop in here somewhere. Yeah, cool. And thanks for sharing. It's a really cool idea. I feel like you're a great producer, man. I hope you keep sharing what you're working on. What's up, Moogard? Maybe I should just start doing a random piano improv between every track submission. So this is another work in progress, Airstrike by Moogard. Okay, I'm just reading about the note here about Suno having rearranged your original. So we'll address that in just a moment here. I'll let the track keep playing. So can you kind of clarify how much of this is you? Because it's starting to sound more and more like Suno. Not this part necessarily. Cool. So, first of all, first things I'll say will be, I'll just pretend like I didn't read the Suno stuff for a brief moment here and just focus on the track as it is. But I think there's some cool stuff going on. Yeah, like you said, I think you kind of label it as like a synthwave prog metal type thing, which I get. I enjoy it. Sounds like, you know, it's cut off here. It was going to keep going. I think there's certainly room to keep exploring this kind of vibe that you're building here. Intro is nice. One of the first things I noticed, this is kind of a random like detail, but that first do then the guitar, I would absolutely add some like washed out reverb to that, like a Valhalla shimmer, Valhalla vintage verb, like get some stuff going on there to bring the guitar into that world instead of it being completely dry. You have all these really kind of grandiose elements going, right? Like very spacey, and the guitar is just kind of like dry. And I think that those things clash a little bit in terms of like trying to meld them and build them into the same world. But yeah, hold on. Let me check to see if you had any notes. You can check the demo project to compare. I'm not really going to do that. I mean, this is no offense to you, but I don't really want to, for on Feedback Fridays, I'd rather spend my time like listening to what people are creating rather than like determining how much of a submission is original versus not. But this is the next thing I was gonna say too is that like, there's obviously a lot of opinions that people have regarding artificial intelligence, and like I'm seeing more and more conversations happening, not just articles and headlines, but a lot of artists that I really respect and I love that are sharing their opinions on like everywhere and like sharing their thoughts on what this means. And first of all, if you have an interest in creating, I understand the temptation of being like, oh, here's a platform that can just take something that I came up with and spit out something that might give me some instant inspiration. But first of all, you're training something to replace you. Just keep that in mind. That's kind of the reality of these platforms, is that like you're feeding them things that it will be trained on, and you might think that that's not a big deal, but at this point platforms like Suno have already consumed everything that's already available on the internet. So like any kind of music, it can obviously very convincingly recreate. So now the only frontier that's left is that kind of like raw, unfiltered, work in progress kind of stuff, the weird things that like it hasn't gotten access to yet. And people are feeding it, no offense, like yourself, maybe a little bit of offense. I'm kind of like hinting and nudging you to like, hey, if you want to create, I love that. I respect that. But there's no need for Suno. There's no... Enjoy the process, but like let yourself be challenged and pushed, and like try to keep digging and finding the inspiration, whatever. I'm not saying we don't already rely on tools as creators. I didn't invent the piano. I didn't invent the DAW I work on. I didn't create a lot of the presets that like other people made that I like to explore and perform with. So like I understand that like I'm not some kind of like hardcore purist or something when it comes to the creation process in music. But what I will say is like I think there are some people that are kind of underestimating what is going on with a lot of these AI generative platforms, and like especially ones like Suno that literally just scoured the internet for all this data without licenses, and are literally trying to fight. Like they're being sued for this, and like one of the major labels has now dropped a lawsuit against them in favor of striking some kind of deal, the details of which are not really public yet. So it's like it's hard to know if that even is in favor of the artists that are signed to that label. But anyways, I mean, they just committed these sins and then asked for forgiveness later, but they didn't even really ask for forgiveness either. They're just kind of like, yeah, let's go to court and like see what happens. They're like, this is fair use, which in my opinion, it clearly is not, is absolutely not. There's like, out of all the ways in which you can interpret fair use, there's like so many points that go against Suno. There's maybe like one area where there is an argument to be made for it, but either way, I just would really encourage y'all. I listen, let me say something else too. I'm not trying to pick on you, Mugert, at all. I'm just trying to be honest about my opinion on these things. And I will also say, like, this is obviously a follower. Yo, what's up, Leviathan? Thank you. I disabled, or I dabbled in Suno the other day and understand how it can help and appeal. Yeah. Look, I have full-time artist friends who have been in the industry for a long time, who have connections, they have all the talent, they have so many amazing things at their disposal, not just themselves, but their network. And even they, I'm not going to name names, but even they were having fun with Suno. They're telling me how, like, this person, like, hit me up and was saying, like, yeah, check this out. Like, I uploaded these works in progresses, and, like, Suno spit something crazy out that I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I'm like, okay, if that's, you don't need it. I get it. The temptation is there, but, like, you're literally training these companies how to replace you. You're giving them the data. They have, in the terms and conditions, they can train their models. So suddenly, if I were to ever upload my music to Suno, like myself, I think, I'm basically training it to replace me. I'm training it here. Look, this is what a work in progress Haywyre track sounds like. And, like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's totally unnecessary. Like, there's enjoy the process of creating, figure out, what you're drawn to and, like, the challenges you're facing, and explore that, like, and represent it in your music. And yeah, sure, rely on look up tutorials, look up try incorporating a new technique. Like, there's so many ways to get inspired, and you don't need to train this model how to better replace artists in order to find that inspiration, is all I'm trying to say. So that's that's it. I'm just gonna end my rant there, but I just wanted to say a couple words there because yeah, I think it's gonna come up more and more often, and I want to make it pretty clear what some of my thoughts are there. I mean, I'm still kind of, like, figuring things out, but yeah, either way, a lot of good stuff going on here, Moogard, and yeah, and I appreciate you sharing what you're working on. But yeah, okay. No, don't apologize, seriously. And I'm not trying to lump everything that people are doing on Suno into one category. There's there's varying degrees of people's involvement with AI, and, like, it's a very different thing. Somebody going and prompting an entire song versus, like, let's say, for example, what you've done, where you've already written and produced something and you're kind of asking it to rearrange some things. Like, there's degrees. I get that. There's a spectrum. So it's not just about that. Again, one of the bottom lines is you're training this company how to better replace us, and you're paying. Like, the only way you get to have any rights over it, which is kind of hilarious, is by paying them. And it's you're like, just to make it clear, like, people are paying to teach this system how to replace you. It's like, bro, that's not the way forward. But anyways, don't apologize, Moogard. It's just a part of where the industry's at right now. So I'm not trying to put this on you at all. But anyways, right. If you're a hobbyist, I get it. You might see it a little bit differently. But yeah. Anyways, let's keep moving here. I don't want to keep ranting. What's up, Crepe G? I could keep talking about this stuff for a while, but I didn't enjoy this time. Sorry, no submission. Oh, no worries. All good. Let's keep moving. What's up, Safaro? What you got for us today? Had to take a little break there. I was getting a little heated. Sorry about that. I also I might, if I can remember to share the story after listening to this, I might. But I saw something pretty funny on I think it was on Twitter about prompters. But hold on, let's check this out. Love the track so far. I like that ARP here. Wait, that riff is really cool. Love it. Cool, man. Well, this feels like a Carpenter Brute, Justice, Rat-a-tat amalgamation, and I'm here for it. I never played the Doom games, but that middle part was kind of giving me some Doom vibes. I don't know if that's worth anything at all, but yeah, really cool idea. I am trying to think of what kind of feedback to give you here. All I really like that riff at the end, by the way. This thing here. That's really catchy. Okay, anyways, I'm not, I like that a lot. Part of me is wondering, like, maybe there's a place to use that at a different point in the song. By the way, I just realized that that chord progression you have, I really like the riff with the A minor droning. Obviously, this is an A minor. It sounds really cool. Just whoops. But yeah, you get the idea. Be cool if you then just throwing it out there. Maybe go to that chord progression from earlier and start doing that riff with the new chords. Like, I really feel like you could build more on that riff. Like, that's a cool ass riff. Is that the only place where it happens, or am I tripping? Yeah, it feels like that's the only place. But either way, just wanted to throw that out there. I don't really have too much else to say in regards to like the arrangement for the track. The beginning kind of feels like, I don't know. I don't want to confuse you in the process of writing this, but honestly, I feel like that is a bit more of a hero riff than anything else going on in the track. So I almost wonder if you should bring it up at some point in the first like minute and a half or something. Because it kind of starts off, you got these really sick drums and like that kind of classic kind of I don't know what, it just reminds me of Carpenter Brood and like Justice and that kind of stuff. It's got that vibe. Bastion, or not, no, Sebastian. Like, I don't know. I feel like that riff could happen earlier. It could be a bigger part of the song. I just feel I feel pretty strongly about it. It's a really cool riff. But anyways, that's all I got. Don't really have too much else feedback. Really like the idea. Thanks for sharing. I do need to go to the bathroom pretty badly, so let's roll to the next winner. I am going to just put up a BRB screen just for a moment here, so bear with me, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, we back. Sorry for the wait, y'all. Lo-fi work in progress. Look at that timing. Cheska, thank you for the sub. It's good to see you here. All right, let's check this out. What are we working with? Tea House Groove. Love this. Give me some Fly Low vibes. Cool. Those changes are nice. Really nice changes. Nice. I was trying to figure out the changes, but I couldn't do it in time. Nice. I love it. Really cool idea. I was not expecting. I was kind of expecting it to mostly stay around. I think it's mostly around A flat minor. It sounds like, or. Oh no, sorry, E flat. Thank you for the follow, JJ McCarran. Definitely has a more mysterious vibe. It's like the 1s and 5s. And then it goes up to the A flat minor. I don't know where it goes from there, though. It's not that, but it's something around there. Either way, I'm trying to think of some feedback for you. For my personal tastes, I could tell you have. It sounds to me like you have some kind of reverb on the drum group as a whole. I find that kick drums with reverb, it's kind of hard to pull off. There's definitely I can think of tracks that have really roomy kicks where it works. I'm tempted to say that I think this might be better off with the kick not being in that reverb group. I'm mostly hearing I'm not really hearing like that boomy low end reverb with the kick, which is great. I think that's part of the reason why I'm not I'm not really that bothered by it. But yeah, might be more of a personal preference, but I think that was one of the things I noticed. I think so here, that kind of like saw sine wave bass sound that you got going there, it's kind of feeling like a little too static. I think it would be nice if there was a little bit more movement in it there. So for example, it could be like pitching down an octave, do, 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 something like that. And it's because it's not that noticeable initially. It doesn't really like it doesn't bother me that it's as static in the beginning, because it kind of like I don't know. It's the beginning of the song. You're kind of like you're introduced to a lot of things right off the bat there that are kind of grabbing your attention a bit more, and it works in my opinion in the intro, but it does feel a little bit static here. And like, like that octave, it'd be nice to hear like a slide there or something. Just a little more, like something that could be fun to do. I know this is already released, but something that could have been fun to do maybe is to like isolate just the bass maybe and the drums, and then try to listen to the bass line you have programmed there, and think about how to make it just a hair more interesting, a little more movement. Maybe act like you're a bass player and think about like, oh, I could like slide down from that higher octave E flat down to the bottom. Yeah, I'm not saying like throw in some crazy MIDI notes into the bass line just to make it more interesting, just like little touches. But that's pretty much all I got. It's a really cool track. So thank you for a tiny room verb. It's like 1 to 5% for sure. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I think that if it were up to me, I'd probably omit the kick from that reverb group. But either way, love the idea. Thanks for sharing. For sure. Let's move on to the next one. What's up, Official Kazuki? What you got for us? I love this. Everyone came prepared with links. All right. What is this image? Hey, thank you for the follow, Ross. Sorry. Played in the wrong key, my bad. I love this though. Wait, this is with Direct. What the hell? I just noticed that. It's a collab with Direct. Hell yeah. Lovely. Sorry for throwing some random piano riffs on top of it, but really cool track. I love it. Yeah, I didn't realize this was a collab with Direct right off the bat for some reason. Really great vibe. It reminds me a little bit of like what does it remind me of? It reminds me of Direct. No. Man, I haven't really heard or like gone hunting for music with this kind of a vibe in a while. It reminds me a little bit of like Sorrow. I don't know if you guys ever listened to I think he's a UK artist. Maybe like a little bit of a well, yeah, anyways, really great tune. I like the kick drum. I like all the Foley. A lot of great like kind of sound design and mixing choices happening, I think. I love Sorrow. Nice. Yeah. You know, me being a piano player, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh man, just throw in like maybe a few tiny little subtle riffs of, you know, melodic things. There's not that there aren't melodic things. Like that vocal sample is fire. I'm not sure if it's a sample or if you guys did it. Either way, it's really catchy, and that's in my mind like kind of like the main vocal motif or like melodic motif in the track. So it's not like there's necessarily a need for something for people to latch onto from that perspective, but I don't know. My mind always is going to think of it from that perspective. Like I'm always going to be like riffing in my head on top of stuff like this, because there's just so much space, right? That doesn't mean you should. I'm not saying like fill it up with with a bunch of solos, but there could be room for like something small, like here. Something like that. Maybe that's a little bit too. The velocity is probably a little bit too aggressive there, but it's possible there's room for something like that. Like the felt. I don't know if either of you guys has the felt piano in Keyscapes, the double felt, like something like this. Could be a bit better, maybe. Something like that. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. That's all I got, honestly. No more feedback. I sang in the second half. First was a vocal sample. Ah, gotcha, yeah. There's more vocals here. Well, you did a good job of matching the processing on your vocals makes it sound so much like that initial sample. But either way, great tune. Thanks for sharing. Let's move on. Eidolon, what's going on? What you got for us? Oh, he's in a meeting? Okay. We'll come back to you later, Eidolon. Art Nerd, I know you're on mobile. Did you join to pin your message? Guess what? Don't tell me you have something to share. Oh, you're gonna share an Eidolon track, okay. That you wrote lyrics for, oh snap. It's mainly Eidolons in terms of production. Okay, gotcha. Cool, let's check it out.
What you doing? How's it going? I've been thinking about you. Miss our late night talks and all the times that it was just us two. 247, it was 7. Until then I realized the connections, that obsession over phone lines. My self-esteem's been sinking like a rock. Please just tell me if my best try isn't enough. Now I'm bringing back the habits that I knocked. My bed feels like the best friend that I.
Wait, did Eidolon share a version of this in an earlier stream?
First impressions, misinterpreted intentions. Wish that I could remedy these broken ass discrepancies between thoughts and reality. What you doing? How's it going? I've been thinking about you. Miss our late night talks and all the times that it was just us two. 247, it was 7. Until then I realized the connections, that obsession over phone lines.
It's a cool track. We got a new follower. Yo, thank you for the follow, WW Nisco.
It's like you hardly know my name. So confused, I'm acting foolish, cause I thought that you were mine. Check my phone to check my channel list one more time. What you doing, how's it going? I've been thinking about you. Miss our late night talks and all the times that it was just us two. 247, it was 7. Until then I realized no connections, that obsession over phone lines.
I can see how Eidolon's production has evolved since then. Cool. I like it. For some reason, there's like this one little bit of a vocoded line that I really liked. Where was it?
Please just tell me if my best try isn't.
I almost want to like loop that for some reason. It's catchy.
Please just tell me if my best try isn't.
Ah, damn.
Please just tell me if my best try isn't.
Yeah, anyways, I think it's like maybe the voicing and the processing and the vocoder or whatever the vocal processing is there. Either way, it's a cool track. I think the vocals sound a bit like wordy. Like it doesn't feel like it's kind of like rolling off the tongue. I find that like sometimes when you're like writing lyrics and then you're trying to like sing them the way that you envisioned it, sometimes like you realize that certain syllables and pronunciations are kind of like making it a little uncomfortable to sing, or it feels like a little bit forced to say things quickly enough or to fit in the everything in the right way. So I think, you know, first things first, that's probably one thing that came to my mind. It's just that like it felt like it could have gone through maybe a couple more revisions to make the vocal feel a little bit more natural. But yeah, other than that, I like the concept.
Bringing back the habits that I lost. My bed feels like the best friend that I got. I've been thinking about the consequences, losing faith in first impressions, misinterpreted intentions.
So that's a cool production stuff going on too, like little moments like that, which I think make the track really more interesting than it would have been otherwise. I think a section like this too, it reminds me a little bit, don't hate me for saying this, but like it's got like a little bit of a Marshmallow vibe there. I feel like you could kind of try to, a section like this, I know I'm kind of critiquing Eidolon, he's probably not even here right now, but whatever. Last thing I'll say is like some cymbals in a section like this would have gone hard. I think that, you know, crash, maybe just like some really basic hi-hat pattern would have been nice to hear, would have helped carry the energy of that section a little bit more. I don't know what I was just doing with my hand. I don't know what this is. I feel like that means something offensive in another language, probably. I should stop doing that. But yeah, thanks for sharing, Art Nerd. I'm gonna move on to the next person. That's how you and Ido met and became friends. That's so cool. I had no idea. I love that. But either way, thanks for sharing, Art Nerd. Oh, by the way, I should take this opportunity to thank you. Shout out to Art Nerd again for helping out with so many of the assets in this on the stream. She made the BRB animation and a bunch of other stuff, like the animated Haywyre logo in the beginning and stuff. So thanks again for doing that. But Italian, I don't know, maybe. All right, what's up, Rafa? What you got for us? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Look at this. It's beautiful. The links just appear instantly. 6/19/40. Mm. Love this. Whoa. Love it. That's definitely my favorite submission of yours so far, Rafa. That's sick. So you said it's a project with a drummer. Who is the sax player, out of curiosity? Cool. Well, I love it. Feels a little bit like a little bit of a journey. The only thing that came to my mind it'd be cool if maybe at the end you kind of wrapped it back up by bringing it back to this thing. I don't know. It feels like maybe this is almost like the equivalent of like a head in traditional jazz. Like, doesn't have to be that way, but then you could go back there. Okay, that's not the exact chord progression, but either way, you get the point I'm trying to make. It feels like you have like this really strong, head essentially, and then you're kind of being taken on this crazy journey. There's this like electronic bass sound coming in, and then this drum solo, which evolves into this new chord progression, the sax solo. Things are kind of going crazy. And I love that. And it'd be cool if maybe like, yeah, the end of it was to bring it back around to this. But yeah, anyways, really cool idea. Thanks for sharing. I thought of that for the outro. Maybe that is that really is the best idea for sure. Local jazz university. Nice. Thanks for sharing, Rafa. Really sick. BCZ Dexter, what's going on? This makes me wish jazz was real. What do you mean? Yo, I don't know how new this is, but I intend to continue with the style of house. I think people might like it. Yeah, let's check it out. That didn't work. Maybe I copied over too much. Hold on. There we go.
In the night, we'll be holding tight. You're the light in me, make it right. Give me life, give me all night, yeah. Could be wrong, but I got a feeling you're the long run. Heart is pounding like a drum, yeah, all night. I'm lost in your sweet dreams, baby. I'm caught up in this revelry. Impossible to breathe out. This ain't no sleep now. I'm lost in your sweet dreams, baby.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great track, obviously. Just out of curiosity, do you mind sharing where that vocal is from? I'm just not seeing anyone featured, so I'm assuming it's maybe something from Splice. But regardless, I love the arrangement. I love the vibe. I think that the only thing I noticed is that first downbeat, or like this first couple of hits in the beginning of the quote unquote drop or whatever you want to call it. There's something. There's some elements that aren't actually I would say in key, because it sounds like the entire chord progression throughout the song remains the same. Splice, gotcha. Okay. Not that is particularly important. Mostly the reason I ask is because I'm trying to encourage people to avoid using platforms like Suno. So part of me was worried that that top line could have been from a platform like that. But either way, I'd much prefer people use Splice over something like Suno. But either way, it sounds to me like the chord progression is basically that C minor, and then classic turnaround, B flat minor into like an altered E flat, A flat major, and then altered G. But there's something in here in the downbeat that feels like it's not playing that C minor. It sounds like something is playing a different chord. The bass, it sounded like a C to me, which is great. By the way, I really love the just like the. It feels like a little more like of a casual, quote unquote, drop. Like it's such an outdated term, but for the lack of a better word, yeah, I would say it feels cool that it's like this like really gentle drop, and it's kind of like playful, and yeah, I think it matches the vibe of what you've done really well. So kudos on kind of like curating like a nice and producing a nice vibe there, and not making something that feels too derivative, I guess. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like one of the only things I noticed from there. I think this section here, I do hear some stuff in the background, which, you know, for a moment I was thinking like maybe there could be something a bit more overt, kind of to draw attention, but yeah, anyways, really great tune. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm excited to see this one get released, so I'll keep my eye on your future releases, Neutro. I'm gonna try to add something like that in there, for sure. Whoops, didn't mean to start that again. Do you recommend to change the chord progression? No, I think it's fine. Honestly, plenty of tracks out there that do perfectly fine using just the same chord progression throughout. So totally your call, but I like it as is. Thanks again. All right, what's up? It's Awo. Changing up the vibe. I like it. What's it gonna be? Nothing changed.
Once more on the bridge, they seemed so safe and so comfortable now. Won't you take me to a place of wonder and dreams to you? You give me joy from all I know. You give me freedom now I know. If you go, there's nothing but change my point of view.
I like the idea of ending there with the with that diminished chord. Hold on. Or is that? Oh no, never mind. That's not diminished. Sorry. That's like the Dorian a minor with the natural six. But anyways, really great tune. Trying to think of, I'm not like super crazy about Vocaloid, so I'll just kind of like attempt to not say much about that. I think like the production is great. The vibe feels like very playful, uplifting, and you know, you've got a great arrangement and structure to the whole idea. So I think you've really done a great job of creating a great piece of music. I think it's like I said, super fun, very playful. It feels like a little bit like maybe as a British person might say, a little cheeky. Feels like kind of like there's like some romantic undertones to it almost. Maybe it's just the chord progression that makes me feel that way. The key change is fun too. I wasn't expecting that. Where does it go back to the F though? That's a creative way to transition back into the original key, by the way. So kudos on that as well. It's giving me kind of Kirby vibes a little bit too. I used to love playing Kirby on Game Boy, but I haven't heard the soundtrack in so long. But like, I don't think I'm tripping when I'm comparing those things. It's been like over 20 years since I've heard Kirby soundtrack. But either way, great tune. Thank you so much for sharing, Itzawa. Big Kirby enjoyer, nice. Cool. All right, let's go to the next person. What's up, Ross XO? Ross, we'll give you another minute here. It is 2:50, so I'm going to do probably about 10 more minutes of feedback here. So if we don't hear back from our from Sir Ross, I'll probably move on to the next person. So wait a little bit longer here. Okay, we're gonna move on, Ross. But we'll come back to you if we see that you're messaging in the group chat. I know it's not easy. You throw in your name for submission, and then I'm going through these things randomly. So, you can't always be at your computer at the right time. So I totally get it. But what's up, Vocode? All right, let's check this out. What do we got here? Untitled, Get Hot. All right, where are we going? Cool. Okay. There's some really cool stuff happening here. It feels very rough around the edges. I know you said here in the comments, unmixed, work in progress. Get that. I can hear the potential big time. Lots of cool stuff going on. Little things that I would say I would try to go layer by layer and try to maybe there's a few layers that have a tiny bit too much distortion, or could just benefit from some more EQing, making room for certain elements, because right now there's a lot of competition going on the entire frequency spectrum. Not in a bad way, well, a little bit of a bad way, I would say, if you want to make sure that the most important parts of the song are at the forefront, making room for those. And I would say right now the mix is your biggest enemy. I can hear there's some really sick ideas going on, and it feels to me like if certain elements are just toned back a bit, maybe maybe you EQ'd a little bit differently, and toning back the distortion on certain elements. But it's super creative. There's a few things I want to point out that I really liked. Let's go to the first drop. I can hear there's these little moments of silence, which are a really nice touch. I really like that. It kind of gives this little negative space, this breath of negative space in there that I think is a really nice touch. I'm a sucker for negative space, so that's nice. And this motif in general is really interesting. I love this sound. It's a little bit over. there's just a lot of stuff going on here, like mix wise, that I think, yeah, I would have to like almost go into the project file and like see the the layers to know how to give more specific feedback. But yeah, overall, I would just say like the mix is your biggest enemy at the moment. But please keep working on this. I would say I think I've seen you post in the music production channel on the Discord a few times, and I can tell you have a knack for creating these interesting drops. It does feel like, in general, like maybe you can do some more A/B mixing. It's boring stuff, but like referencing artists whose work you really like, and trying to isolate certain frequency ranges, comparing, going back and forth, and being like, okay, like what is their, what is their low end sound like? What do their mids sound like? How do my mids sound? What am I hearing? And then especially also doing that on different devices too can be really helpful. So like going back and forth, staying objective is pretty much impossible, but it's important that you try it. Like sometimes, for example, let's say you're like sitting there and you're I don't know, you're doing dishes or something. You have your phone next to you. It's playing like a track, and you can't hear it that much. When it's like in the background like that, I think a well produced track. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry, it's pretty dry here, but a lot of times, I think a well produced track can. This isn't always the case for every genre, by the way, but I think for EDM, largely this tends to be the case, that like a well-produced track you'll still be able to recognize, and you'll still be able to get the gist of it, even when it's being played on like a phone speaker and there's like background noise and all this stuff going on. So I would just try to say like find ways and experiment with that, and like try to own in on like how to get your mixes a little bit cleaner. Finding ways to create less competition between elements, using something like Compactor. I know I talk about that plugin way too often, but like it's so powerful and it's free. So like, try to figure out how to create a little bit more space in your mixes in the right ways. And then last thing I wanted to say too, I think that second drop was really cool. I was not expecting that. Like I could see this being mixed in like an ISO EXO kind of style. I feel like he might be a good reference for the second drop. I'm not sure about the first one. The first one maybe sounds almost a little bit Space Laces-y to me, but it's your call on what you want to reference. Anyways, thanks for sharing. Really sick. All right, we got time for one more, and then I'm going to call it, all right? Sorry if we didn't get to you today. I apologize. Arialis, what's going on? You might separate the drops into two songs. You could, but I personally think they work really well together. That's just my 2 cents. Do as you wish. All right, what do we got here? Last track of the day. It is oh yeah, you've definitely shared something before. Let's check this out. This track already sounds like this, like static. Do you mind me asking where you're from? This kind of feels like... If I had to guess, you're from the UK. Kind of feels like something... interesting tempo. Is that really 140? It's like 140 double time. It's interesting. It's really cool. I like the thing. The thing. I like the whole track. Yeah, very dark, very moody. I would say that. Hold on. The first drop I like a lot. Let's check out. This section feels a little bit confusing to me because it sounds like you're in is that Phrygian or what is that? What frickin' mode is that? But you're basically in E, and then it feels like you're kind of like going to a different key here. Oh wait, it's actually tuned differently. I just realized. I'm pretty sure, but like this section, it feels a little bit confusing because there's some conflicting stuff harmonically going on that doesn't quite fit with the track up until here. So it's obviously something like F sharp, but like tuned up a little bit of a few cents. I'm not sure, but either way, I would take another look at this section. I find that a little bit out of place here. The other thing I was gonna say is that eventually the drum pattern does get a little bit stale. I think just adding more, Foley or background percussion, maybe it's like shakers or tambourines or something to add more ear candy. In the beginning, it's fine. The impact is there. The simplicity in the beginning is really nice, but then eventually you're kind of like, okay, you've kind of locked in. You kind of hear that that's the drum pattern. That's how it sounds like. There's totally room for like something gentle in the background, like eventually, like in the second half. Yeah, the other thing I was gonna say too is I like this transition back here. It reminds me a little bit of something G. Jones might do, where he'd have like this kind of unexpected like polymeter thing that leads into the next drop, and part of me almost wants to hear that continue, and it kind of does. I don't know. I feel like you could play with that a little bit more if you wanted to, but just my 2 cents. An outro would be nice too, so it doesn't just end right here. And that's all I got for you, my friend. Thanks for sharing. I think it is detuned slightly. The main riff is EFE. Very much inspired by. I lived in the UK for 7 years. Boom. I'll take it. Close enough. You're Lithuanian and you live in Lithuania. Nice. Appreciate the feedback. It's still a work in progress. Yeah, for sure. I totally get it. And hey, this is just my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. But yeah, as always, y'all, listen. Just a reminder, because sometimes it blows my mind that people don't see music this way. But I think there is no other way to look at music than to say it's purely subjective. We all have different tastes, and yeah, we're all human, and there's things we're maybe predisposed to or have a like predetermined like proclivity towards maybe like liking a little bit more. But in general, like our tastes are individual, subjective, and so like if I'm giving feedback on something you sent, please, like, you do not have to listen to what I'm saying. I'm happy just checking out what you guys are working on, and I'll be honest and say what's on my mind. But by no means does that mean you have to somehow take that to heart and think that means XYZ that I said has to happen. But anyways. On that note, we are going to wrap things up. Appreciate y'all sending so many dope tunes. I know we didn't get through everyone today. I did my best, but we'll be back on Sunday for another stream. And oh, by the way, Inside VIP will be out a week from today. So next Friday, little pre-Christmas gift. Yeah, it was fun hanging out with y'all. So many talented producers. It's nice to see people coming back on a regular basis and sharing tracks. It's cool to see a little bit like further behind the curtains, see what y'all are cooking up on a regular basis. But yeah, I'll be back on Sunday, and appreciate y'all sharing what you're up to. And take care. Enjoy your guys' weekend, and see y'all next time. Peace out.